But there is a misunderstanding around listening. Some people say, okay, great, I'll listen. That means I'll shut up, and then I'll intermittently nod with a slight frown to show that I'm really intensely listening. For many managers at first, as they listening, okay, it takes so long.
Impulses and Perspectives, the DIKT Expert Talk hosted by Nikoai Behr.
Hello and welcome to a new edition of the DIKT Expert Talk. Today I'm talking to my dear friend and colleague from London, Andreas Kleinschmidt, about listening. What's so important about listening in business life?
Oh, you just learn more about other people and you strengthen your relationship with them. We're not spending enough time on it, not enough energy on it, and even worse, most people don't really know how to listen properly.
So, what did you find out in your studies? How to listen properly?
It's about making a real effort. And when you look at what we're all focusing today, we live in a time where it's all about how I broadcast myself, what we are doing right here, right now, and then my YouTube channel and Insta and everything. It's all about sending. But what about the listening part? And as I work with a lot of executives on public speaking, how they engage with their audience, it becomes so clear, oh, I need to read my audience first. I need to listen. And what helped me on that journey as well is that I did training for executive coaching. So how do I coach people? And that is 95% genuine, true, deep listening and intentional listening. You actually want to learn from that person, and that is real work.
So leadership guys and ladies, in the past, didn't they listen enough carefully to their employees?
Some people always listened, others not so, but yes, I do see a trend. And I think it's because there are different expectations by a new generation of people who's starting their professional lives now. Right now is the moment where we see the single best educated, and if you want to go by IQ, whatever it's worth, the single most intelligent generation in human history. And they're about to enter the workforce. And they're not ready to be told how to do things, or even what the purpose behind it is. They want to build their own journey, their own way. And how does it change management styles? And good listeners, they can create a safe space for the other person to develop their own thoughts and to draft their plans and test them out before they bring it to the real world. And that's a skill we need to build, both with the managers, the leaders of today and tomorrow, and the next generation that's coming into work.
So money is not number one criteria in finding a new workplace right now?
Go by the studies. Shall you study? Ask young people. The answers I get, no. For me, it's about purpose. It's also about impact. So what do I do? What do I contribute? Which in a way is saying, am I being seen? Am I being heard? And now we're back at listening.
Did we lose the skill of listening to others?
We might have. It's a cultural thing as well. In the past, there were traditions of storytelling. There was no TV. There was no mobile phone where you got storytelling on video all the time. People just sat in the evening and all they had was the fire and their voices and stories. So you also had to listen. Fun fact, at 30 weeks, roughly, babies in the womb start to have the ability to distinguish the voice of their mother, the sounds of their mother, from others. So hearing, very important, gives us warning signs around the world. That's maybe the tiger in the bush, what we hear. But hearing and listening and understanding are different things. And only if we make this deep effort, it's real work, to listen, there is the chance we understand the other person. And feeling understood, feeling heard, feeling seen, we know, is in fact not just deeply pleasant, but can also be healing. It's beautiful for the relationship, but you also uncover areas where there are issues, where there are problems, where there are opportunities that you wouldn't have expected.
So if I'm now a manager in a big company, how can I learn to listen carefully or properly? Booking a training with you, of course.
Okay, I was just shutting up. Yeah, perfect. Okay, brilliant. But there is a misunderstanding around listening. Some people say, okay, great, I'll listen. That means I'll shut up, and then I'll intermittently nod with a slight frown to show that I'm really intensely listening. But that's just the outside. Well done, Nikolai. That's just outside signals. And if you're then not actually listening, people know. It doesn't need a lot of training to realize whether someone is actually listening or not. So how do I listen well? It starts with myself, and it starts with the intention. Very often, we destroy the conversation. Remember, it's about creating a safe space for the other person to come up with their own very best thinking. How do I create that space? Well, first of all, by keeping my own ego out. Meaning, I approach the conversation in the sense it's about you. Right now, it's all about me. Thank you very much for listening. That's really kind of you. But it's all about the other person. Which means, what do I do and what do I not do? The moment you bring in your superior knowledge as an, oh, I've been there, let me tell you how to do it. The moment that you judge, that doesn't seem right. Did you really think that through? The moment that you curiously drill down into an almost irrelevant detail because you're just like captivated, you're not doing your best job at listening because you're not creating that safe space for the other person.
What kind of practices you do with these managers?
Listening means, first of all, actually caring. There is the saying, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And here's the trick question. How can I make people think that I care about them? What are the little tricks I could use? It's easy. Actually care. And if you actually care, there's going to be the curiosity. There is going to be the ability to create that safe space for them. It is a service. It is humility that is behind it too. But if you're able to do that, then in this space you will learn a lot. You will improve that relationship. And then you have basic techniques like the type of question you ask. Closed questions, yes or no answer. Is the report ready? Yes or no. Are you joining the offsite? Yes or no. Versus, hey, what are your plans tonight? Or how are things going with the report? Open questions, opening space for the other person.
So you're coach and trainer for many years. So is that a new topic, or is the importance of this topic now higher than in years before?
I think we're just all becoming more aware of it. We live in a time where it's all about, oh, we broadcast ourselves, like you and I, we're doing that now, and then my YouTube channel, and Insta, and here am I, and social media. And it's almost a war for attention. Who screams more loudly? Who hijacks attention better? And we're all fighting for that attention, which appears to get much less, shorter attention spans. Wouldn't it be beautiful if we lived in a world where people fine-tune their antennae and listen more, rather than us screaming at each other more? And while there's a huge benefit for everybody else, there's a huge benefit for ourselves, and more managers and more people realize those benefits. But then, how do I become a better listener?
Where does it come from? Because we are all experts right now. We all know how to publish ourselves, to publish our ideas, our company. So, because in former times when there was the bonfire burning and you were sitting and telling stories, people were listening to other people, I think, more carefully.
Tell me more about that.
Well, that's my idea. That's just a thesis.
What makes you think that could be true?
Because I think people are so much into, oh, I have to publish what our goals are in the company, what our product is better than the competitor, what our employees can achieve, that they don't listen to their customers or to their clients, they don't listen to their own employees, and they maybe lost the ability due too much media attention, media usage, to have this, what we do right now, having a conversation, exchanging ideas instead of just throwing them out.
What would be ways to change that?
Good question. What's your experience with that?
And you see what I've just been doing, right? I gave you open questions and I shut up. And the open questions, if you ask me, where do I start when I want to listen? Try more open questions. So what's an open question? Open question is, what are you going to do tonight? What are you going to have for lunch? What do you enjoy most about your job? Open question defined, any answer is possible. Closed question, did you finish the report? Yes, no. Have you read my email? Yes, no. So the closed question, it gives a clear corridor where we're going. While the open question, again, it opens up space for you and your best thinking. And that's what I tried to do with it. And see what happened. You came up with all the good ideas. I didn't even have to do the hard lifting anymore. You did all the hard work, and that's the brilliant news. For many managers at first, as they listening, okay, it takes so long. And the person goes on and on and on. And then I do another open question. And they talk about something completely different. And I wanted to talk about the report. It feels like it's taking too much time. It's inefficient. My experience is, over time, the opposite is true. Because if you just go with your narrow hypothesis, you will end up somewhere. But will you pick up what really matters to the other person? That will do the job. Will that person reveal that awkward truth that maybe there's a systemic issue with the project, but then it's going to haunt us later, but if there's no safe space for it? My experience is going the slow route, the exploration through listening, true deep listening, is a shortcut, although it feels like it's taking longer.
Is there a difference in generations or in hierarchy levels where you have experienced that people are better listeners or worse?
Did I really see that difference? I see it between individuals, and I don't have the data. It would be unfair to say, well, that generation really is bad at it and that next generation is wonderful at it. But what I would recommend is look out for those people around you, either in your private life or at work, and figure out, are they really listening? Because you will have a sense. Do you feel understood? Does it feel safe to share? Does it feel like a collaborative process? And when you find them, and they're not very many, most likely, learn from them. If you think back, people that genuinely listen to you in your life, what did they do well? What comes up for you?
Well, students, when I give a class,
they actually listen to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
They had to.
Okay.
Yeah, our clients, our customers, they usually listen to a certain point. But then I usually try to listen to them as well. So it's an exchange.
And then how well did you listen to one another? I made the experience that the moment my agenda comes in, the relationship can take a hit, in the sense that suddenly I go like, oh yeah, great, I really want to do that project. Now let me kick into sales mode. Or, coaching situation. I know, what's the problem? Let me tell you. And I just make myself aware, my ego's kicking in, I want to give the solution, I want to tell you what we should do together, but no, it's not about me, it's about the other person. And the surprise is, usually the outcome is much, much better. The second surprise is, while listening seems like, hey, just listening, that's an easy job, isn't it? The truth is, it's hard work. It's hard work because there's a lot of real focus, real effort and focus, our brain keeps distracting us. Fun fact, our brain can process up to 400 words per minute. Our mouths are built to produce between 125, 175. So there's a big gap, which our brain fills all the time with activity. So no matter how much intention you have to focus on what this person's telling you, you always have distraction. It's a bit like in meditation, you notice it, you go back, and you listen intently.
Andreas, you've been a broadcaster, so you told people how to broadcast their content, their topics. How comes that you are so into listening now?
When I look back, and it just realized short while ago, I realized that I've been listening so much throughout my life. First job, journalism, interviews. Many people were, isn't it about like coming up with the great questions? Yes, it is, but you get to the good questions by listening really, really well. And then through coaching, that opened up a completely different dimension, executive coaching, where it's really about helping the other person, again, come up with their best thinking. I'm not going to do that by jumping in and giving my opinions and obvious nudges. And so recently, on a weekend actually, it was like, I realized, oh wow, this has been a topic for me for a long time. And many clients I work with, they want to work on becoming better listeners. And then it turns out, as I look for tips on listening, yes, you find always the same 4 or 5 tips on listening, but what we miss is more practice and more intention. Because often the benefits are not immediate. It's not instant gratification. It's not like eating a scoop of ice cream and feeling immediately well. The benefits of listening, they're in the relationship, which grows, and that is a long-term benefit. Plus, the benefits are in a deeper understanding, more knowledge, so a project might, but it takes time. So we don't get instant gratification, which means it's like going to the gym. You invest and you see the benefits later.
So what the first 3 tips in going to the listening gym? If, like a manager wants to be a better listener.
If you want to try it out, go and put on your agenda, you don't have to tell anybody what you're trying out, 1 meeting in your week, and try to listen deeply, to make it about the other person, and here's how. Go in, you may have an agenda, as in like, oh, this department needs, we need more sales here, or why is the accounting not done yet, whatever. But take your agenda, put it to the back of your mind, and make it about the other person. And big helper here, the short, open question. Easiest one, how are you? Of course, that's quite basic and standard, but as you go closer, what's bugging you at work at the moment? Or what's really challenging right now? Then, shut up, listen. And listen, and that's number 2, not just with your ears, but with your eyes, and if you will, with your belly, yeah?
The senses, yeah.
Because there's so much information which is not just the content. You get the transcript, you miss almost all the important little pieces of information, as in the tone of voice which I use, whether I'm holding eye contact. So that's number 2. Listen with more than just your ears. And 3, keep your ego in check. Don't hijack the conversation. Well, I started with an open question. I asked what's really challenging at work to you at the moment, or what's really fun at work at the moment. And then you make it about yourself. Oh yeah, exactly, I have the same thing. And then you keep talking, or you immediately judge the person, or you immediately go back, oh yeah, great. And then what about the accounting? So keep that space open for, say, 1 minute. If you find it hard, 5 minutes if you want to challenge, 10 minutes if you want, for an hour if you can and want to, just flex the muscle. But actually do it, have the actual intention. Make it about the other person. Try open questions and then stay with it. Plus, it's not just the ears, we also listen with our eyes and almost our full body if you want to.
nowadays with all these virtual conferences we have, with the virtual leadership, where people have working for months in remote offices, is it even more important to train this listening?
Good point. Which bits of listening are we losing out on? And we just mentioned it. Anything that's not audio visual, and then we're just getting a bit of it through our little tiles. I think the core of listening is the same. And I do a lot of coaching and training over VC, and they're good outcomes. But I also try with every client I work with to try to meet at least once in person wherever it's possible, because we draw on that physical presence of the other person. But the core of listening, it works on VC. It's simple, because if you're really curious, if you really make it about the other person, why shouldn't that work if you go through VC?
And that's also a question of empathy.
Helps.
Helps a lot.
Helps if you care.
Okay. Are there groups of people who won't learn it, in your experience?
Look around, and
sure.
you will probably find otherwise very mature, achieved, not so achieved. A lot of people who reach old age and they don't listen a lot. They don't really listen. Maybe also because maybe they don't really care so much about learning about other people. And look, you get through life that way too, but you miss out on a lot of opportunity. You miss out on a lot of lifetime of not finding out what really matters to another person, of not growing those relationships, of having to guess what's going on with other people. And there's a cost to it. Can you be a happy person? Hopefully, probably. We need to ask them, is there a lot of beauty in understanding others and investing in relationships? Definitely. So if you find it hard to listen, try the mini exercise and make it about other people. Be curious, discover what matters to them, and learn.
Okay, thank you very much, Andreas. I've listened to a lot of important stuff about listening, and I'm glad to talk to you soon about maybe empathy.
And how ironic, isn't it? It's about listening and I did all the talking. Huh? Beautiful. Anyways, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Take care.
If you would like to watch all of our new episodes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.